What's going on, my friends? Happy Labor Day. I hope everybody has had a fantastic weekend, and on top of some relaxation, you've also taken some action on maybe making some plans for the week ahead, and just use the time to organize yourself. I know that always feels great when you have a little bit of what feels like extra time to take action on some stuff that you have fallen behind on. Alright, so today, without further ado, I want to talk about receiving negative feedback and why it is such an important skill to know and to have for young people, for old people, for anybody interested in continuing to learn. Alright, so in my opinion, negative feedback is a skill that should be added to the list of things that you must know to live a good life. And I think it's worth defining negative feedback for the purpose of the video. So, negative feedback refers to a reaction towards something or an action that you have taken from someone else that you perceive to be negative or wrong or poor or bad. It's the opposite of someone telling you, great job. It is someone telling you, don't do it like that. No, that's not the right way. No, 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 no. Do it like XYZ. And so, negative feedback it's a reaction to a failure. And as we learn, we fail. Failure is a great teacher. Learning is failing. Learning is failing by definition. It is learning the way to do things through failing to do them first. And the dog's out here with me, growling at squirrels. So for the purpose of the video, let's divide it into two categories, personal and professional. Let's start with the personal. At a young age, this skill is taught to us or we learn it as we age, as we get older. We see others model it, first and foremost. This is very important. And as we watch, we are guided through it. I want you to think of that family member, the grandmother or the grandfather, who criticizes something you do as a young person, but then shows you how they would like it done or how to do it better. And in this way, you don't make the mistake again. In most cases, you learn. Relational skills are also learned at a very young age. As an adult, relationships you maintain in your life, in your everyday life, have a profound effect and impact on your happiness. I believe that the sooner you clarify the difference between negative feedback of the moment versus negative feedback of the person, you separate trust and love from growth and development. Let me explain this. Negative feedback of the moment. This is diving deeper into the definition. Depending on what you were referring to, in most cases, negative feedback is referencing the action, the moment, or the environment. Something about the thing that is happening or unfolding in front of you that isn't good. Another and more toxic variation of negative feedback is of the person themselves, as if they are a bad person or unworthy of being a person, of being there. And this is also a form of negative feedback, but this is a toxic form. And we won't get into that too much in this video. I just want you to understand there are multiple variations of negative feedback. Lastly, I want to comment on children. As they grow up, children, myself included, I did this, they naturally learn from their parents. It's safe to say that most parents want their kids to be capable people. So they show them how to do things, as opposed to doing everything for them. And if you think about it, you might be able to visualize a couple examples of kids that have things done for them and kids who learn to do things themselves. So the child who has received negative feedback and been shown a method for acting following the negative feedback learns to expect this, and then later in life they learn to seek it out, which is a very key and critical piece to remember. They learn to seek it out. Whereas the child who has everything done for them has a distorted view of negative feedback. They believe, most likely, that it is a reflection of them as a person, which is a very unproductive place to be. If all negative feedback received is deemed a reflection of me as a person, well, I would basically avoid going out in public. Hey guys! Hey! Shh! Dogs! Seriously? Give it a break for a second? Harlan! Stop it. Okay, so progress this to the professional world. High earners are high learners, and failure is how we learn. High earners have, well, I'm not even going to use that term. Learners, high learners, have learned that negative feedback of the moment is an indication that they need to be shown how to do something. They model success, and they inherit that. They become what they are, what they act. So seeking the environment where negative feedback is customary is a must, because it is a continuation of the exact same learning processes that you went through as a child. Simple stuff. I want you to think of extremely simple stuff. You learned how to hold a pitcher of water and pour the glass full of water. You learned how to measure food. You learned how to walk or kick a soccer ball would be a better example, because you kind of learn how to walk on your own, even though you are encouraged. But if we continue that example, if a child, hypothetically, if a child was to be criticized and put down as they learn to walk, most likely their walking would be extremely stunted and they would not learn the skill anywhere near as fast. Now, a couple things to note. Progress in the professional world, negative feedback, can be harsh, and it can be embarrassing and painful. And at the end of the day, you and I, personally, are the only ones who can distinguish between productive negative feedback and toxic negative feedback. To me, negative feedback is something that I can relate to because it happens in everyday life. It's as simple as a momentary encounter with your husband or wife or your partner, and you react to something, let's say with aggression or with frustration or with an outburst because you're emotionally stressed. You have a lot on your mind. Just example. Then you walk out the door, right? You walk out the door. Maybe you say something off the cuff that just comes out because you are just venting, and then you walk out the door to work. you most likely lose your opportunity to regain control over yourself, and by doing that, explain that you were not reflecting negatively on them as a person, but rather something that they did which set off a chain reaction in you because you were stressed. In my own relationships, there have been moments, I think, where, depending on the relationship, I've tried really hard to avoid negative feedback because there's guilt associated with it, or I didn't know how to handle it. And I don't want to get too vague. I get too theoretical very quickly, so bear with me. I think that at this point, I've developed a good habit of controlling the reaction to the extent that I can let it kind of like equalize, and then I understand within me before I let out some emotional outburst that the negative feedback I received doesn't need such an uncontrollable emotional reaction, or the negative feedback that I would like to give to someone else is now okay to give because I understand what it is and I'm prepared to show them what I mean, so that they do not end up walking away thinking that it's a reflection of them as a person. Okay, that's a personal example. Now, professional, take the new job, construction. I'm learning skills literally as we do them, and there's lots of, let's say, supervisors who have been in the game a long time, and don't necessarily have a teaching degree. They have the construction expertise, and so they're very quick to show things by doing them themselves, which is fine. It's a variation of commenting and then showing. But as an adult, and I think adults are better at this, I have to be now keyed in on what they're doing so that I learn, and then brave enough, courageous enough to ask the question potentially multiple times until I understand it, so that the next time I do it to the standards that they're looking for. Okay? And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. It's hard to receive negative feedback and not absorb it like it's a personal reflection of your person, rather than a reflection of the action that you are engaged in, which is most likely just not even you. It's just a momentary sight that the supervisor saw, and they reacted because of who they are and their experience, and then they jump in and show you how to do it. 9.9 times out of 10, people want you to succeed. I want you to succeed. I want you to live healthy, wealthy, and happy to the best of your ability, which is why on this channel we talk real shit and we do not beat around the edges. This is stuff that I go through. This is stuff that I know a lot of others go through. And I want to show you the tools and the skills and the examples so that you know how to navigate these things in your own life. So I hope that makes sense. All right, that's my hand-waving message of the day. We got the dogs. What you doing? All right, so with that, we will sign out for now. Have a fantastic week. I will catch you on Friday for another video. Got some ideas on that one. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of the video. For now, I hope you enjoy the content. I know it's a lot of rambling, but I think it's a worthy listen. So I appreciate every thumbs up. If you enjoyed, please drop a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos, and I'll catch you in the next one.